Hello, everyone. We are coming at you live from the Liminal Pines. It's me, Alan. You're getting a face cam today. Thank you for tuning into this stream. Before we get into the drawing stuff, I want to start off this stream with something a little special. I start off, every stream with a little bit of show and tell. And here recently, and by recently I mean just the past couple of days, I've been getting these YouTube shorts. And before you joke with me like, oh, this guy watches YouTube shorts, I don't have TikTok, so all of my TikToks I just watch through YouTube shorts. So that's the entire deal with that. So regardless of all of that, I have been getting recommended these videos of supposed millennial cringe compilations, and I've been enamored with them. They are something that is just absolutely insane to me because I'm not a millennial. I'm what you call a Gen Zer, but I'm like an old Gen Zer, I think. We're going to start off this stream by watching a few of these millennial cringe compilations. I have it pulled up here. Unfortunately, I can't seem to find any like long form YouTube videos that are just millennial cringe comps. At least not right off of the bat. So we're just gonna watch a few of these like YouTube short compilations. We're gonna react to them. Okay, that's crazy, right? I know we're a reaction channel now. We're gonna go ahead and do a little react. We're gonna do a big react on him. I love Dave too. But yeah, we're gonna do a big old react on him. We're gonna try not to laugh. We're gonna try not to cringe. Yeah, that's it. If anyone's here live, this might not be in the VOD because I assume that some of these shorts will have licensed music in them. So if you are here right now, this is it. This is it. All right, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna I'm gonna pull this up here. Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna pull this up. And then we're gonna have to do some resizing on my face cam here. Real question though, why is it not? That's not up to date. Wait, properties. Technical difficulties. Why is it not the thing? Right? Can I refresh that? Will that make it work? No. Ugh, this is so frustrating. It was literally working just a second ago. I don't know why it's doing that. This is embarrassing. This is so embarrassing. We're going to studio mode. Screw it. We're going to studio mode. Why are you not functioning correctly? Okay. I just had to switch the inputs. Oh, what's happening right now? We're gonna we're reacting to. Let me fade over. We're reacting to some millennial cringe compilations of millennial people. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. So we're gonna pop that down there, and we're gonna take this, and I'm gonna be in the corner here. I'm gonna be down here reacting to it. Would I look best up in this corner? Or this corner? How do we feel about that? I feel like this corner, since I'm gonna be like, or maybe down here. Since I'm gonna be looking this way. Yeah, I think I'll pop myself down here. We're gonna do a big react. We're gonna do a big ol' react to this. This is not what you expected. Quite frankly, I don't know if this was what I was expecting either. I'm joining on the millennial cringe. Okay. I don't know. You're gonna have to tell me if the volume levels on this are good enough. I'm having it on full volume. If it's too loud, I'll turn it down. But let's get started. Let's react. Let's do a little reaction.
Gross, Mom. I'd love to tell you about the time you came out of my.
Is that loud? Is that too loud?
I don't say please. I don't say thank you. I just do.
Are you guys hearing that double? Because I'm hearing it double. It might be because I have it on monitor and output. Wait. Maybe I don't need to do that for this. Maybe I can just monitor off.
I want, and if you want.
Okay, I think that's what it is. I don't need to do that. Sorry, you're having to work through this. You don't hear? Okay, I was hearing it. It's because I had it on monitor and output. That's my bad. Wait, okay, I wasn't reacting to that. Can I go back to the beginning of this? Okay. All right. This is imagine that none of that just happened. Imagine that none of that I didn't react to any of that. I was more reacting to my phone settings than I to my computer settings than I was to this video. Okay. Okay. We're reacting now. Chat, are we ready, chat? Chat? I think we're freaking ready, chat. Okay. Right. Sorry, I'm switching up my things so I can see the chat while I'm doing this. Okay, chat, let's react. Number 1.
I'm a gross mom. I'd love to tell you about the time you came out of my.
Censor that. That's crazy.
Afterwards.
I think Hawk 2 is funny. I never did not think it was funny.
I'm still in the motherfucking house. I'm still in the motherfucking house. I don't give up.
I don't say please. I don't say thank you.
This is just a person. Can we just accept this? This is just a person. And yeah, they're acting a little silly, but that's just like a person. But this next one, I've seen this one before.
I don't give up.
I don't say please. I don't say thank you. I just do what I want. And if you want to get with me, you better have what I want. I don't say please. I.
Okay, I've seen this one before too. But this person back here is like, this has to be staged, right?
Please. I.
Yeah, she's already looking at him, right? Okay, let's say that wasn't staged. Okay, let's say this wasn't staged. This person recorded this, watched it back over, and then was like, "Yeah, let's keep this." Like, this isn't the focal point. This is the focal point of the art piece, right? So like, what the fuck? Would you post this shit?
Don't say please. I.
And isn't like the other thing about like recording a TikTok is that like you need to sync the music to your thing, right? So like did she have the music playing while she was recording this, or was it in just complete silence? Because that's crazy. That's insane. Okay. Is it okay to say I didn't get that one? I don't even think that was cringe. I've seen worse things. Okay, this is just a regular YouTube short. It's put me back on the thing. We're picking from this pool of things.
Are there reasons why people don't typically let me drink coffee?
I've seen this one before too. This one's bad. Hello, Joe. You are here for art content, and art content is coming. We're just starting the stream. We're reacting to millennial cringe compilations. So hold on, hold on. Okay.
One of the reasons why people don't typically let me drink coffee, and it's not because I don't like it. It's because now my husband has to deal with me all the way home, and we still have another 3.5 hours left.
That guy looked like he didn't want to be there. And I don't want to be here looking at this individual. I'm kind of freaked out by this.
Small potato, small potato, small potato, small potato, small potato, small potato, small potato.
Was that millennial? Can we... I get it. I guess this is like an older individual. That feels more like an art piece than it does. I'm sorry, Habs. We're gonna draw here in a sec. We're doing react content. Okay, I have to spread my arms wide over the internet, and I have to reel in everybody. So we're doing react content right here. You think that this is millennial? You think this individual is millennial?
Potato, small potato, small potato, small potato, small potato, small potato.
This is better than the art content. Okay, dedication. This person was able to cry on command. I don't understand. I don't get it. But I like it. It makes me feel something. Is it cringe? I don't know if I'm feeling cringe here. This is just normal. Okay, this is ADHD girl.
I don't wanna play no games, play no games. I don't wanna play no games, play no games.
This is this girl again. We'll probably see if they repeats.
Eat your vegetables! One of the reasons why people don't typically let me
That one, I don't know. That's just hype. I don't know about that. You don't like the pancake one? I don't like the pancake one either. But I like the pancake one because of this person right here. Also, who goes to IHOP and orders a stack of waffles like this? You go to IHOP to get burgers. You don't get breakfast at IHOP. You go to Denny's for breakfast or Waffle House for breakfast. This person though, this is just a normal person. She might need to brush her teeth. But you're not perfect. I'm not perfect.
I'm so excited that Taylor Swift gets to be small girl with Travis Kelce because he is large boy. He makes my
Garrett says Jesus. Hello. This one is bad.
I'm so excited that Taylor Swift gets to be small girl with Travis Kelce because he is large boy.
That video's longer. I've seen the full version of that video. That's hard because this is
Taylor Swift gets to be small girl with Travis Kelce because he is large boy.
this is an adult. like this is okay. Not to put anyone down. Okay, I'm not putting anyone down here. This is an adult. Speaking like a child, which is a very common thing. And maybe it's funny to some people, and if it's funny to you, all the power to you. I do not find this funny. I find it kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't even say like embarrassing. It's just like what? Like what's going on here? I don't get it. But yeah, just this we'll get to that in a sec, but
Small girl with Travis Kelce because he is large boy.
Taylor Swift is such a like a small girl, and Travis Kelce is like a big boy. Okay, he's like, what level of parasocial is this? I would just like to know. Ryan says there are way too many shirtless men outside my window right now. Go and say hi to him. Open up the window, say hi.
Make lemon cake. Prepare the firebox. Sure to wash your disgusting Gerben hands. Lemony.
As a 28.
Oh my goodness.
Sure to wash your disgusting Gerben hands. Lemony.
As a 28. Toddler that spills everything. Like that.
Okay. Some of these I've seen. I know this is not the full version of the full video, so I'm only getting the highlights here. I've seen this before.
Like that.
It's performative, right? Look, it's like saying like look how quirky I am. Look how quirky I can be. But like I know that they probably recorded that several different times. It's not quirky after the 5th take. It's a performance. You're an actor in a Shakespeare play. What? I need to start acting like that in public though. Being like, I'm so quirky. I am so quirky. Joe, we will get to the drawing. I apologize, but this is a bit that I'm gonna beat into the ground like a dead horse, and I'm also compensating because I'm not too good at the Loomis method. So I just don't get your hopes up. The expectations should be very low.
All right, I'll go, but I'll be fashionably late. No, yes, no, yes, no, yes. Late. No, yes, no, yes, no, yes.
Very common for there to be just a like, what's the silliest face I can make right now? I guess it's a meme. Unless you're talking about the Joe Mama thing in the chat, in which Joe Mama is a meme. Don't let it get to you. Wait, this is a different one. What? Oh, millennials putting their playlist on shuffle? That wasn't really cringe. That was just like millennials when they put on their playlist and it's just music. It's just songs. This girl again. You know it's bad when you're in 3 separate ones.
As a 28-year-old toddler that spills everything.
We've seen this one too. Oh my gosh. I feel like we're seeing recurring characters. What? I feel like this girl.
Spooky, spooky haircut. Spooky, spooky haircut. Spooky, spooky haircut.
I'm so excited.
What does that even mean? What does spooky haircut mean? It's cringe. It is cringe. It is certifiably cringe, but
Spooky, spooky haircut. Spooky, spooky haircut. Spooky, spooky haircut.
I like that. Their eyes are so green. That's so funny.
I'm so excited that Taylor Swift gets to be small girl with Travis Kelce because he is large boy and she gets to be small girl.
Make lemon cake.
That's that was the one from the. I know it does bring up. We can probably we can like.
Haircut. Spooky, spooky haircut.
This reminds me of Willem Dafoe from The Lighthouse. If anyone has seen, thank you, Habes. This has this reminds me of Willem Dafoe from The Lighthouse. This is like actually scary, and their eyes are emerald green. That's crazy.
I'm so excited that Taylor Swift gets to be small girl with Travis Kelce because he is large boy and she gets to be small girl.
Make lemon cake. Prepare the firebox. Sure to wash your disgusting Gerben hands. Lemony. Zest the sour boy.
Oh, there's more. There's more to this.
Sweet rocks. Do you know what?
You know, that one, it's cringe, but like, that's what goes through my, that's like the inner monologue that goes through my mind whenever I'm like doing anything. But like, I'm doing it ironically, you know, but it's only for myself, so what's the point?
You can't see it. Let me show you what it looks like. Do you know what this is? Ooh.
I feel like I'm not getting like the full brunt of this, you know? Like I feel like I'm only getting snippets of a greater picture.
This is the cringiest video.
You know what's more cringy? People commenting over content that other people have made.
$32, $33, $35, $35, $35, $38, $39.
This is the only one so far where we can actually confirm that they are in fact millennials. Because they're also like they're like in their 30s. So like this one like is like the true. I like the ranking here. It says elder millennial. It's the android nerd face with the finger.
32, 33, 35, 35, 35, 38, 39, 40. Elder millennial.
Okay, I see why. I see why the emojis are there now.
Elder millennial.
Oh, and they slowed it down for a replay. I like that.
I'm so excited
Do
that
some
Taylor
roast
Swift
me and
gets
stuff. I don't roast people. The only thing I roast is veggies.
small girl with Travis Kelce because he is large boy and she gets to be small girl.
That one doesn't affect me as much that I've seen it enough times. I'm with her on that.
Spooky, spooky haircut. Spooky, spooky haircut. Spooky, spooky haircut. Spooky, spooky haircut.
My goodness. I don't want to see the inside of anybody's mouth. I'm not a dentist. Another recurrence of the just the making silly faces. I like silly faces.
You can't see it. Let me show
The spooky haircut one now is actually a low-key banger, Habes. It's like you know how you listen to a song for the first time and you're like, I don't know. Like I really don't know if I vibe with it. And then like you listen to it like 5 more times and you're like, okay. I think I get it now. That's me with the spooky haircut. I like that.
looks like. Do you know what this is? Ooh.
32, 33, 35, 35, 35, 38, 39, 40. Elder millennial.
Elder millennial. How old are they? What am I going to be drawing? I'm going to be drawing portraits. We're going to be going on, we're going to pull at Pinterest on here, and we're going to be looking at, we're going to be just drawing portraits using the Loomis Method. Okay. I'll make a concession. I don't do this often, so, oh, you said when will I be drawing? Kaylin, get out of here. I'll make a concession. This will be the last one that we'll watch because it's almost 5:30, and I know I've been teasing everyone. With this. This will be the final one, and then we'll get drawing. We'll do the art stuff. What's art? I forgot what drawing is. What's a drawing? This should be a try not to laugh compilation. This is hilarious. I'm That's so funny. Okay, all seriousness, this is awful, but I do commend anybody who has this level of control over like their facial muscles. In another life, this person could have been a cartoon. But here they are making TikToks on planet Earth. It's the drop that gets me. It's this like idle animation stuff. Her eyes like widened. They like, I feel like I'm watching like an Oblivion like character creator in real time. You saw that, right? That's insane. That's insane. Jim Carrey, I think you've got down to the root of the evil that we're seeing here right now. The what is it? The effects of the industrial Jim Carrification on the modern internet brain rot landscape have been devastating, or whatever.
Gummy bear. Gummy bear. Oh, I'm a gummy bear. Yes, I'm a gummy bear. Oh. You buy those?
That one didn't get me. I'm more interested in the room that they're in, because they have a, what's this? Can we analyze these 20 pixels right here? What is that?
Gummy bear. Oh, I'm a gummy bear. Yes, I'm a gummy bear.
We just got one more. Next week, let's watch. No, we're gonna watch the entire 10-hour radio, the Portal Radio video with the King Ass Ripper in the middle of it.
Can you buy those cheese graters? You can buy those cheese graters. Can I get one? Yes, you can.
I was telling someone earlier today about this one. I'm glad it popped up.
Can you buy those cheese graters? You can buy those cheese graters. Can I get one? Yes, you can. Does it come with cheese? It can. Do you want it? Yes. Sorry, everybody.
Who are they apologizing to? And who's that? Who are they surprised to see?
You're hilarious. Yeah, I can get you a cheeseburger. I didn't want a cheeseburger.
Their server just does not seem to care whatsoever. They're like, all right, we'll get you your thing.
Does it come with cheese? It can.
I feel bad like making fun of people who are in like awkward social situations, because I am often finding myself in the middle of awkward social situations where sometimes I just don't know what to do, or just like acting acting silly. This person could have some form of like autism. I am about to start the art. I'm just making I'm thematically tying all of this right here. This person does have like an amazing set of chompers. Like, one apple versus this, I think this is gonna win. And it wouldn't even be like a mealy apple. It would be a firm apple, and this would still win. But I guess what I'm getting at is that sometimes people have odd social behaviors and can get easily excited about certain things. and maybe they just don't get the social cues. Maybe they don't understand that they're in the middle of a gentrified Italian restaurant. I don't know. So I don't know. This has been fun. This has been a lot of fun. But okay, I want to hear it. I want to hear it. I want to hear it. Chat, can we hear it? What are we here for? What are we actually here for? That's right. We're here to do art. I turned my camera off. I meant to turn the other thing off. We're here to do some art. Okay? And did you miss show and tell? Hibbs, I'm sorry. That was the show and tell. I was showing my stuff. Well, no, I was showing those videos and I was telling you how I felt about them. The show and tell will be more eventful next week. I apologize. Okay. Let's go ahead and let's do some drawing. Okay? Let's do what are we here for? Oh my goodness. I forgot. One more thing that I wanted to say. I figured out, and this took little to no research, and I've just been lazy, but we have found out how to do music on stream, and it is literally just I open up Spotify on my computer and I just give you guys the audio. That's wild. So we're gonna listen to some stuff while we're drawing here today. I have picked out for you. We are going to be listening to the Disco Elysium soundtrack for the first part today. This is a fantastic album to a even more fantastic game. So please enjoy the tunes while we're on here. Wait, can you guys hear that? You might not be able to hear it. My thingy it bugs out occasionally. Wait. And I don't know how to work buttons on my computer. Can you tell? We're gonna get you guys music up. We're gonna have music, whether you like it or not. Okay. Yes, properties. Okay. Does that work? Okay. This is where I need the chat's help. Okay. Is this too quiet? Or is this too loud? Or is it just right? I don't know how loud this is because the loudness that I have going through these right here, you need a little louder. How's that? Specifically in relation to my voice, I just need my voice to be louder than this, because if this is in here, and you can just hear it slightly in the background, it doesn't need to be too loud. But like, is it good? Does it need to be quieter, or louder, or is it good where it is? This is important to everyone who's watching, listening. That's my cat. He's chewing on a blanket. Yeah. He's kind of making biscuits back there. I don't know exactly what he's doing. That's so cute. He's so cute. Okay. I'm gonna pop. Let me know if the music is good. For one, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna rearrange my camera so we can see like what I'm doing down here. But if you guys could hold on in the meantime, that'd be fantastic. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna pop up a buffer. And feel free while I'm doing this just if anyone could just like let me know. Okay, that sounds good to you. Okay, as long as if it sounds good, then that's good. If you guys could just tell me you a level quieter. I see. Wait, I gotta go back to my thing. I have to get out of studio mode, I think, in order to control it. Okay, I turned it down a little bit. No, that's the thank you for watching. We're not done yet. Okay. Okay. Just while I'm setting up the camera here, if everyone could tell me how your day has been going. What have you been doing? Have you been practicing your art over the past week? What have you been reading? What have you been watching? What have you been up to? I want to hear. Cuz I love talking to people sometimes. I love talking to people all the time. I love talking to people most of the time. Can I'm gonna drop some real talk on you guys. Popping into someone's stream is an amazing thing, and I am always going to be grateful for it. But popping in and forcefully telling people to do stuff is a little rude, I think. Because you know, I'm an autonomous human being, and I understand that, you know, we're gonna be doing something specific today, but you know, I just wanted to share a little bit of joy. And I think that popping in and being like, dance for me, monkey, it's not the nicest thing to do to someone. Just this is a lesson in etiquette, of online etiquette. Because guess what? Got free will, baby. You do whatever you want. You don't have to watch it. Right? Isn't that the whole point of being like a human being? Okay. Boing. Here we are, fellas. Here we literally are. We're literally right here at the moment. Okay. Did the music just turn off randomly? Okay. I know this song is a little bit louder, so we're gonna turn it down. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to art. Welcome to silly art. Welcome to silly art. I am a. You've been itching to draw, but your wrist has been hurting. Habes, I feel ya. I've still been having wrist pain, too. The only thing I could recommend is to just pace yourself. Make sure you're doing stretches. Definitely like anything that can let you use your grip, you know what I mean? So I recommend looking at rice bucket exercises. Those have been helping me a lot. Mine gives me trouble occasionally now. I think I've found good ways to sort of like cope with the pain. That sounds edgy, to cope with the pain. But yeah, I've been finding ways to sort of deal with it here. And I will say it has not been giving me as much trouble as it has been, which is refreshing. But it is a scary thing to sort of like have to deal with nonetheless. But yeah, just make sure you're like doing stretches, pace yourself, like draw for 30 minutes, take a 5-minute break. Don't draw for like hours and hours on end as much as we may want to. You have to, at least for right now, you have to understand like what it is that might be causing the pain. You know, like make sure you're doing stretches, work on like strengthening your wrists through, look up rice bucket exercises, or like dumbbells are good too. They're very useful for that. Yeah, it'll get better. It will get better. I promise you that. The human body is a miraculous thing, and we have the ability to come back from a wide variety of illnesses and ailments. And I'm sorry to hear that, Habes. And I empathize with you. No, I sympathize with you because I was in your boat. I am in your boat. Okay. I guess I'm just gonna show off what I've been doing the past couple of days. This was not from last stream. I showed this off on last stream. We did not use the sketchbook last stream, so you're not gonna see what we did last stream, but you can go and check that one out if you're like, I need to figure out what he was doing. So yeah. These were on a stream, of course. Hatchwork. I think I showed this off last stream. But this is just like of a photograph. This is all freehand too, which I'm quite happy with. I know it's not perfect, but you know, I feel like I got the vibe of it, right? You love my style. I wish Garrett, you're blowing me up like a big old hot air balloon. Because I don't really understand. I feel like I don't have a style, but I do appreciate it. Am I doing a tour soon? Like a studio tour? I'm assuming that's what you mean. Oh, the way I organized the sketchbook is nice. Thank you. My goal is to sort of just like not put as much as I can on a page, but definitely utilize the space as best I can. You like the cool perspective on the dude on the right? Oh, this one right here? Yeah! Oh, wait. Oh my goodness, sketchbook tour. I'm so stupid. I do love sketchbook. Yes, a sketchbook tour is coming because I only have like 2 pages left of this right here. Yeah, this little fella is fun right here. I like drawing. No, Habes, you don't apologize because it's just my interpretation. I am quite not the intelligent fellow that I claim to be. We're gonna pop that. I'm gonna pop that up. I'm gonna be adjusting audio levels through here, so if it is too loud at any point, just let me know. But yeah, we will be doing a sketchbook tour at some point. There's gonna be a short, which is gonna be very quick, like 30 seconds long, and then I'm gonna do a longer, more in-depth sort of talking about everything sort of tour. So look out for that. I'm going out of town next week, so it won't be this next week, but it will be probably the week after. And I'm very excited to show off what I've been working on. I'm very excited to give this guy some hair, because I forgot to do that. I was like, why does he look so weird? It's because it didn't give him a little hair right there. That's a block of cheese if it were cut into a perfect cube. Here is... We're getting into the doodle phase of the sketchbook where I'm like, what do I do? So we got some like cubes here. I don't know what this was trying to be. This is sort of like, this is no reference. This is sort of me kind of just like, I don't know, playing with shapes or whatnot. The music is a nice touch. Amazing. That's good, because that's what I be wanting. This is a little, I don't know if you can see this right here. Just playing around with some composition. All those composition studies, have they been paying off? No, not yet. Hopefully I'll get better at composition at some point. This is of a photograph right here, so this isn't freehand, but again, just like trying to get that perspective down. This is sort of like, this is an in circles sort of sketching thing. If nobody here knows what in circles is, it is a comic that I'm writing. And I haven't been able to work on it as much because of, you know, wrist issues and working on other things, but, you know, it's always in the back of my mind. This is sort of an idea for the beginning segment of the comic. I'll talk about it here because, like, who that is going to be reading the comic in full is gonna be like, I'm gonna watch this one random stream from this guy from like a year ago or however long it takes me to finish it. But so you have two characters. One of them, his name is Ulysses, which I short to Yuli a lot of the time. Yuli and his brother sort of like live together, and he's sort of getting ready in the morning, and Ulysses is depicted right here. He's like laying in bed, and he's like talking to him, but he's getting no response, and he's like, at first he's kind of brushing it off, like, oh, he's like still sleeping or like whatever, but then he's like, you see him sort of like peek his head out from the door, and he's like, hey, Harris? And then he sort of like walks up to him and he's like shaking him, and then you sort of see him look. This is a very poor, this is not what Ulysses looks like, but like this is just what I did in the moment. But you sort of see Ulysses looking down on Harris, and the implication is that like it never says that he has died, but like just from his reaction. And then there's a match cut to him with it raining with an umbrella above him at a funeral, and then you sort of have the camera pan out, and Harris is in his coffin, essentially. And this is the inciting incident. Maybe not the inciting incident. This is the inciting incident for Yuli's character arc. It's sort of how can he cope in a world where the one person who has ever really understood him, who is his right-hand man, like how does he cope with that person gone, and like how does he react to that? This takes okay, so the idea is that he dies. Okay, oh my gosh, yeah, I've set myself into a spiral of explaining what this comic is about. The comic is set within this universe where there was an event where this thing called the Circle has encompassed and swallowed up essentially the entire southeastern part of America, and it's a perfect circle. And within the circle, there's not a lot of people. It's an anomalous zone, meaning that you go in and there are just like weird things that are happening that defy logic and reasoning. And it's organized into a bunch of concentric circles. The closer you get to the center, the stronger these anomalies become. If you've ever heard of Stalker or Roadside Picnic or Annihilation, you'll get the gist of it. And Ulysses and Harris are bounty hunters who are employed by a corporation known as Tangent, and they're essentially kind of like child soldiers. Tangent is like an evil monolithic corporation that is exploiting the Circle for different things. And so what happens is that Ulysses and Harris are bounty hunters. They come back. Harris meets an unexpected and untimely death that Ulysses has a hard time accepting because it is so absurd how it has occurred. And sort of it plays on this idea that like life is very chaotic, and that sometimes people can just be taken away from you without like any like reason seemingly. And it's Ulysses coping with that, but he's essentially tasked with going deep into the Circle to find a man known as Melville, who it has been rumored that he has found the origin of the Circle, which is perpetual motion, which, if you know perpetual motion, it's not real. But yeah, just the idea that Ulysses has to sort of delve deep into the circle, which is almost like delving into his subconscious, and he's having to come to terms with his nature, because he's a very violent person. He expresses himself through violence without Harris, and so it's sort of him becoming more animalistic as the story progresses. And there's a lot of character dynamics that I'm going to introduce in here. But yeah, within the circle, there are also these entities called hunters, which are sort of the embodiment of like primal fears almost. Like, so like there's the darkness, there's silence, there's like fire. Like there's one that's just like fire. There's one that's its name is the King of Teeth, and it's essentially the embodiment of death. So I'm excited to sort of play around with these sort of things. I mean, if you know my interests and like what I gravitate towards, then you'll know that this is to be expected. And not everything is set in stone yet, currently, but I really do want to explore these characters more, and I really like Ulysses as like a concept. The comic is also going to be framed through like tarot cards as well, so like ideas of like fate versus free will. It's going to deal a lot with like the idea of like narratives. People are going to be like telling stories about people that may or may not be true, but does it matter that they're true if people believe it? I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of what In Circles is about at its basis. Gosh, I'm sorry. We haven't even started drawing it. I'm rambling. This is some stuff that I guess I was doing the other day. Very bare bones right now. This is just of a photograph. This is from the video game The Last Guardian. I was just kind of like, I've been playing The Last Guardian for a video, so I was like, I just want to draw some towers. So that's sort of what that is. And this is what I was working on earlier today. This is kind of like nothing. It's just a little sketch. Nothing too important, I guess. I was wanting to play around more with the idea of not having black panels, black borders. Like I was just going to go through the ink and sort of like have that be the border. Kind of just playing around with that. The idea of like gutters in comics is very important. Okay. And for proof that I'm almost done with my sketchbook, this page, this page, this page, and this page. So expect a sketchbook tour very soon. Oh, ooh, ooh. This is my next sketchbook. We're going to a smaller one, and yes, this is a sketchbook that I got from Hobby Lobby. We hate Hobby Lobby because they sell AI art now, but they had a sketchbook that I thought looked cool. So this is what we're going to be using next. I was really concerned about the weight of the paper, the paper weight. It's 180 GSM, and I was like, I'm not too comfortable with like my paper types, but I'm fairly certain that anything above 100 GSM is considered like pretty damn good. Yeah, I don't think this says the GSM anywhere on here. I want to say it's above 200 for the sketchbook, but yeah, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, this is going to be the next sketchbook. It's smaller, obviously. It's not watercolor paper, so we're going to try and get back to doing more pen type stuff with the sketchbook. So I'm excited to sort of string you guys along for that journey as time progresses, as time inevitably passes on and we become older and more frail. Oh, I just want to say real quick, this track that's playing right now, I love this. I love this song so much. It's called you can't see it right there because it's being weird, but the song is called Your Body Betrays Your Degeneracy. Your Body Betrays Your Degeneracy. I love this song. Beautiful. Okay, let's get drawing. I know I've been rambling. If anybody should expect anything from this project I got going on here, is that I'm a chronic rambler. I'm a yapper. I'm a chronic yapper. I'm gonna pull up Pinterest, and we're gonna find some things to look at. Nope. Okay. Okay, it's stuck on the cringe compilation thing. That's embarrassing. That's my Spotify that we're doing right now. You can see it says Disco Elysium, but I'm not keeping that a secret. Oh, this song is also good. Okay. The song, I believe, is yeah, Precinct 41 Major Crime Unit. It's a banger. Okay, so today we are going to be I'm gonna pull, this is something I do often for drawing like faces. Chomeng, if anyone is familiar with this channel on YouTube, amazing artist, but they have a Pinterest with some like references. When I'm drawing people, I like to frequently like go through here and sort of like scroll through and see what it is that they have pinned, and I'll sort of just like click one from here and then I'll be like, okay, like this one's catching my attention right now, so we're gonna do this one. We're gonna pop it right there. So yeah, we're not going to bother to add a new date up here because this is the same day. Today is the 17th. Today is May 17th. But yeah, we're gonna show off. We're gonna show off some Loomis methoding. I don't know if this would be too helpful or not. But I do have some studies in this notebook. Do I have Loomis method in here? Can't remember if I do or not. This is sort of like my vomit. This is like my vomit sketchbook. I might not have any Loomis methoding in here, so I might just have to. Oh, we did a stream of this a while ago, doing the channel logo. If that looks familiar. If that looks familiar to anybody. Habes was here for that one. No, I don't have it in this one. Okay, that's fine. I'll just give a quick and dirty rundown of what the Loomis method is. Andrew Loomis was an artist of the early 20th century, or it was like mid 20th century. Yeah, and he sort of like developed, he patented this method for drawing proportions with faces, and what it essentially does is it breaks down your subject into a circle for the cranium, and what he said was that if you take the midpoint of that circle, like this right here, we can start to subdivide the face into some neat proportions. So when you start with the center of that circle, this is like looking forward. This is like a true like head-on portrait. This is going to be your eyebrow line, and what you're doing is you're going to, this isn't going to be perfect because I'm not doing it. From the side, you would draw these like circles. We'll show you here that in a sec. But we're just going to do it here because it's sort of, we're going to pick a hairline. So like we're going to say like that the hairline is like here roughly. And the idea is that your face is going to be divided into 4 sections, or 3 sections, sorry. You're gonna have your forehead, your nose, and then your mouth and chin. So you take your center point, hairline, take roughly equal distant. This is going to be the bottom of the nose. And popping back down here, this is going to be your chin. And you can already start to see it forming. And because the head is not a perfect circle from the front, that's what these lines here are for. And what we sort of do is we take, that's the top of the head, it's the hairline. This isn't going to be perfect, by the way. This is going to be your ears, if you're looking at it from the front. The tops of your ears align with your brow line, and the bottom aligns with your nose. With the bottom of your nose. Right? And so you have your center line, brows, or hairline, brow line, nose, chin. And then your jaw sort of comes down a little bit, kinda, and then it moves into, everyone's jaw is different, so like it's like it doesn't have to do that. It could like round up right here, or it could come down a bit further to be more square. The Loomis method, the one thing about the Loomis method that I love so much is that you can, once you get these proportions down, you can play around with them. So like you can move your nose up a little bit to sort of like give them a more scrunched up face, stuff like that. But yeah, so we have all those things established. This is like the bottom of your nose, and so between the bottom of your nose and the bottom of your chin, your mouth is gonna fall not exactly halfway through that. It's more like 2/3 up. So like your mouth is typically gonna fall right there. And again, you can mess around. You can mess around with that. From up here is typically like how people draw like cheekbones. There's that concavity of the face from the brow line down to the chin. If you are more muscular, if your person has more muscular features, this is very helpful to sort of like divide those planes of the face. But also, if you're like painting, it's very nice to be able to say like, this is a different plane from this plane. So it gives you a big chunk of like stylized shading that you can do, which is beneficial. There's also another like bit right here that's technically like, you know, your temples, you know, like where your skull sort of changes from the front plane to the side plane. That sort of like falls like around here ish at the edge of your eyebrows. You have like you have your eyebrows. Eyebrows can be any shape, but typically they're gonna end right where that temple, right where your temple sort of like changes from like front to side. Your eyes are typically gonna fall, I normally just say like right, just like somewhere generally right below your brow line. It doesn't have to be perfect, but as far as the sizing of your eyes goes, you want to sort of keep, you want to keep however big your eyes are. The goal is to have, no matter the size of your eyes, one eye length in between them. As a general rule of thumb. You don't have to, like if you want to have the eyes further apart, that's cool, but just for this. Yeah. And that's sort of like the way that I do my Loomis methoding when viewed from the front. It's not perfect. The Loomis method does not capture all facial types, facial constructions, and that's sort of like up to you to sort of figure out as you as you do your thing. And then your neck sort of like falls like a little bit inwards. Again, I'm not an anatomy like purist. I'm like, I don't really like, oh, you have to get this perfect. That would be unfair, I think. But yeah, we're gonna do a side view right here. Remember how I said earlier that we sort of like have like a circle thing going on right here? Well, that's essentially what we're gonna do here. Middle of your circle. You essentially have, this is gonna be like this where the side plane of your head is. That's sort of where your head gets cut off. Right here. But the idea is still the same. You have your brow line, you have your hairline, you got the bottom of your nose, and then you have your chin, right? And so we're gonna approach it as such. Chin is a weird thing, jaw is a weird thing. Remember how earlier we said that the ear sort of falls top of the brow line, bottom of the nose. So that's pretty much what we're doing here. It's like that's gonna be your character's ear. And then your jaw is sort of gonna, it juts out a bit forward at like a, I don't know what angle you would call that, like a 20-degree angle. And it sort of flattens out. And depending on like how big your character's jaw is, you could change that around. And then your head from the behind is not a perfect sphere. It sort of comes down like this. I don't know if this is a perfect interpretation of that, but it sort of comes down like that right there. Your neck, I guess if you were looking at your spine from the side, your neck sort of curves back like that right there. Never draw your characters with a too stiff neck. People don't stand like that. People have a slight curve right here. This is your cervical section of your spine. But then you can sort of, you draw from the back of the head, connects like, I don't know, roughly right there or whatever. And then, yeah. That's sort of, and then you sort of start to go into other parts of the body. As far as like proportions go for all of this junk, you got your nose there, obviously. You're gonna have your eye socket roughly right there. Eyes from the side. Take on a triangle like quality. You have a bit of a bump right there. Because the skull has a layer of skin on top of it, a layer of fat, sort of. I guess that's not perfect. I'm ignoring my own rules that I put forth. I'm giving this person a silly little face. I don't know. You can sort of play around with these sorts of things. Again, don't take any of this as gospel. I'm not perfect, but you know, you get the general gist. You can start to play around with like construction. But the most important thing I will say is to just observe, see how these proportions like apply to your people that you're drawing, and just go based off of that. So we're gonna try and do that here. I apologize for the very long preamble, but I felt it necessary to doing this right here. We're gonna rework. If you have any questions, if anyone has any questions, please let me know, and I will try my best to answer them. Or if you're drawing along, please draw along. Ignore this advertisement that's going on over here. Please ignore it. Okay. We're gonna start with the circle. And it's looking like, so like when you're doing something from like a side view into a front view, like this is like a semi 3/4 view. what I'm going to do first is I'm going to establish sort of the tilt of his head, which is roughly like that, right there, right? And because your face is a face, from that tilt of the head, there's always going to be a 90-degree angle. That's just how it works. So we establish the tilt of the head, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do this circle right here, but like from the side. But because this individual is sort of like mostly facing us, it's gonna appear very elliptical, like that right there. Right. So we have sort of his hairline, which is a little high up. Sort of try and break that down. Then his chin, roughly right there. Yeah. So I'm just gonna go ahead, and he's sort of looking down, so we're just gonna draw that in there to sort of just show that, I guess, that he's like looking down. So his brow line is going to be roughly like right here, and then I'm going to rework the spacing. I always like try, whenever I'm like really trying to do a portrait, I always try and I always try and like do like a penciling. So like that's the cool part about like doing the penciling beforehand, is you can sort of like rework these sorts of things before you do it in pen. Yeah, these are like the eye sockets. These aren't his actual eyes. His face sort of comes down like that right there, and then he's got a very flat, move it down a bit, he's got a sort of flat, very flat chin. And what I'm trying to do here, which is more important than like the Loomis method on its own, is I'm trying to compare proportions compared to other proportions. I'm trying to keep it all really relative. So like what I mean by is like, how wide is his jaw from like his eyes? How long is his nose compared to like the length of his mouth? So on and so forth. Like what's the general shape of this person's face? And I'm sort of cross-referencing that with what I know about the Loomis method. Like he's got a pretty high jawline, I'm feeling. Yeah. So what I like to do first whenever I'm doing portraits, after I like get all my proportions set out, is I really like to do the eyebrows first. I'm big on like eyebrows because they communicate a lot of emotion. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'll just block those in. That right there. And then we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna do his eyes. And because his eyes aren't open, because your eyelids are sort of like a wrapping over a sphere, essentially. Think of that as like the eye. Your eyes are sort of wrapping around a sphere. When your eyes are closed, you sort of see your eyelid conform to that shape, which is why there's a bit of rounding going on right here. He's sort of got this like furrowed brow thing going on. His nose is very flat bit. His nostrils have a bit of concavity to them. And He's got a whitish mouth. That right there. He's sort of got this little bit of his chin, which is like the bottom of his jaw. Have I finished Andor season 2? For you watched season 1 last week, you think you're halfway through season 2 living so far? Yes, I did watch the I watched the final episode, the final stretch of episodes, just the other day, and let me just say that Andor is probably the best thing that we're gonna get out of Star Wars in a while. I love that show so much, and I'm not gonna spoil it, but it is. It ends on such an amazing note. Everything about it has just been absolutely fantastic. I cannot recommend the show enough to anyone who might be thinking of watching it, because it is masterfully written, and I like props to Tony Gilroy for coming up with all that, because it's crazy like how much one person who doesn't care about Star Wars can do for Star Wars. And I mean that. What I like about this guy here, because he's looking down, you see this like elliptical right here, his ears are gonna be a little bit above his eyebrow line. Well, technically they're on his eyebrow line, but because of proportions and the way that things like this work, his ear's gonna be a little bit higher up. And that's sort of still, it's the nose line. I love drawing people with big ears too. I find it so like satisfying to just draw people with large ears. You know, everyone has that like thing that they like drawing a lot of, and for me, I like drawing ears quite a bit. Such a complex character, such complex characters, and the dialogue is so good. It is. I love Luthen as a concept for a character, just like this conniving sort of mastermind behind the rebellion who will never get that recognition, and he's like okay with that, but he like understands that you have to break a few eggs to make an omelet sort of deal. I love that. I like drawing chimpanzees. Yes, I do love drawing chimpanzees, young man. Is that funny to you? Do you think that's funny, young man? That's quite funny. Yeah, I like drawing bonobos. Yeah. He's got this square jaw thing going on, so I'm gonna try and like bring that out a bit more. And he has like, you can see like his remember how up here we're talking about this bit right here? That's sort of what's going on here with that is his cheekbones right there. I guess they're not that pronounced. They're roughly in there. Alright, we're gonna move on to the forehead. What's interesting about this person is that they do have a pretty large forehead because they have a receding hairline. No shame. Of course. Happens to the best of us. He's got hair, and he's sort of got this thing going on. Poor fella's got this little comb-over thing happening right there. I'm not the best at drawing hair. This is definitely not a course on how to draw hair. I'm really just trying to look for those big shapes that we're seeing for the hair, at the very least. Yeah, maybe that's a little too exaggerated for what it actually is. Though a little exaggeration can go a long way. Okay. Funny. You're funny. No, you're funny. I may have made his ear a little too comically large. I'm gonna reel that in a bit. Is that better? I'm also, like, I'm not trying to capture this one for one. I'm really just looking at proportions, trying to, like, capture that likeness as best I can, and then I'm sort of trying to throw my own stylings upon that. I'm looking for major, like, negative spaces, shapes created by negative spaces. Imagining that collar wrapping around his neck here. We're not drawing clothes here. But yeah, that's sort of, that's what we're getting at there. He's turning his head in shame. He's looking away from my drawing. He's saying, "This guy stinks. I hate this guy. This guy's awful." His son ate wasabi by the spoonful. But he looks like angry too. He's like, "I hate my son." That's sort of how he's looking. Okay, we got our base here, and we're gonna pen and ink it. My favorite part of any drawing. I'm gonna start with the eyebrows again. We're gonna sort of try and get the wispiness of, like, the eyebrows. There. One thing, disappointed. No, it's not disappointed. He's like looking at me, he's saying, "I wish I'd never had a son," but he's like pouting when he says, "I wish I never had a son." One thing I'm going to be doing while I'm like doing the inking here is something I've picked up on is instead of doing a single line or like using a really thick line, you double up like two very small lines to indicate like a very like a fold in the skin or like, or even just like an edge, you know, and it sort of helps soften it up. So like for his cheekbones right there, I don't want to do like a large black like fill right there, right? But if I can just, I could double up the lines and it sort of makes it hit a little less hard, if that makes any sense. Same thing with like the chin here. Because like I could do clean lines like I did with this thing up here. Like I could try and get like clean straight lines, and that's fine and all, but like I don't know, there's a certain amount of like dynamicism that is sort of present here. And of course, you don't have to connect all of your lines, which is something that I've learned when inking, is that you don't necessarily have to connect all of your lines. Sometimes not connecting your lines can imply a lot of different things, like highlights or sort of like a soft turn, stuff like that. We're not going to detail this ear too much over here. I guess I could start working on the face now, a bit. There's definitely a lot of darkness underneath the nose here, so I'm gonna try and like darken that up a little bit. We're gonna sort of show that little bit. And there's a lot of darkness with the lips as well. Trying to show that. I'm trying to show that his sort of like his lips are scrunched up here. You can see that shadow under there where it sort of like recedes down like this. And I know there's not a line here or like a shadow here or something, but I want to just show something that like there's like a bridge in his nose. I'm just gonna do that right there. He's looking over like some little creature is tugging on his shirt, but he really doesn't want to turn around. Yeah, he's like trying to like throw it the side eye of like, you know, like, hey, quit it. But he's like it's not enough for him to be like too angry about it yet. That makes sense. I like this little hypothetical universe we sort of created here. And I know he doesn't have eyes necessarily in this photo right here, but I'm gonna add some sort of like, I'm gonna accentuate the pupils here just a bit to sort of give this a little bit more emotion. Sort of looking down right there. He's also got some like little frown lines. Going right there. Don't want to look weak now. Yeah, the goal is to not show weakness to the little goblin creature that's sort of been tugging at your shirt. You know, because if you show weakness, then the goblin might want to steal your gold. Perhaps. Or your treats that you've accumulated throughout your years. Here's my favorite part. Drawing the ear. Drawing this ear. Little trinkets and bits. He's tugging at my jacket. Wait, what if he tugs too hard? Then he might open it my pocket and my bits and bobs might spill out. You know, and that would be a shame, I think. We're gonna contrast his sort of like the light features of his face with sort of like the ruggedness of his jacket. So we're gonna do a bit thicker lines for that. Here. That sort of comes down. Sort of a little bit of darkness there. I'm gonna show sort of that we're seeing the side of his shoulder. That's what I love so much about jackets and stuff, is they have these little stitches that sort of show you where the shoulder is facing. Even if your perspective is a little off, you can sort of imply a lot with that. What we're gonna do here? You would be so pissed off a little goblin took my chaos emeralds. Well, then they would uncover all the secrets of the universe, of your universe. Wait, is this more a lesson in inking, or is it more of a lesson in drawing portraits? Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good right there. Do we like that? How do we feel about this? You guys should have told me. You guys should have told me that my thing was too far to the left. OMG. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I wasn't paying attention to the stream. I was looking at the reference. Do we feel good about that? Do we feel good about doing an ink wash on his hair? Even though there's a lot of pencil going on here. Oh, you think he looks delicious? Sort of just add in these ink washes to sort of, because I think it's fun. I like doing ink washes. Peter Hahn, another renowned pen and ink artist, is very, in his sketchbooks, he does a lot of this ink wash thing where he'll just go over with a midtone. And I love that. I love that sort of look. So I of course, try and emulate it in my own thingies. Yeah. Mine looks so much more disgusted. I don't know about that. He does look more like disappointed, I think. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna mute myself real quick. I need to take my my sweater off because I am very warm right now, and I could use some cool. I could use some of that cool. You know what I'm saying? So, one moment. Okay, I'm back. Yeah. Of course, we can erase a lot of these lines as well. Should have added a little bit of a line here to show the temple. So, I feel like I can do a good portrait if I really like hone in on it. I'm really not good at doing quick portraiture, especially freehand. Like if I have like an underdrawing, I feel as if I can sort of get that portrait down just slightly better. But as soon as I start to do it freehand, I'm like, oh, I suck at this. Can't do it. Not that this is perfect. This isn't. I'm already seeing like errors with this. Something is odd with the ears. I don't think I got the ears lined up correctly. This should be tucked in a little bit more. Well, no, I should have scrunched up his face a little bit more. Maybe moved his mouth up some. Yeah. Again, not claiming to be a master or anything. As much as I want to be. Yeah. Let's find one more. I like doing something in the vein of this right here. This poor individual was not gifted with a strong chin. I feel bad for them. It's Robin Williams. Drawn this guy before. I like this person. They look very like smirking. They're like, I've drawn this lady before. I know that. Drawn them before. That's a penis. This song is fun. This song is plays if you've played Disco Elysium. You go into a tent and there's these kids just chilling in there. This isn't a real shirt. I don't want to do head-ons, you know what I mean? I feel like that's boring. This person looks AI generated. That's interesting. Getting ramen? Have a good night, Chemical. Mr. Chemical. Have a good night, Mr. Chemical. Perfect stream, Mr. Chemical. Thank you. You're making me blush. It hurts to do that voice. Let's do this. Let's do this, Jen. Making it green. Let's do this, Jen. Right here. This will be the last one we do tonight. I've been streaming for an hour 40 minutes, which is typical of me. I'm hungry too. I'm getting a little hungry. Need to eat some dinner. Okay. First of all, we're gonna show the tilt of the head, and as I'm looking at it right here, it's up a little bit, like that. That's sort of the tilt of our head. So if we sort of draw an ellipses, that's sort of how his head is tilted right here. Our line, and then because of 90 degrees, that's how we're gonna draw it right there. Yeah. Hairline. Bro don't really have too much of a hairline. His hairline's way up here. We could guess it would be somewhere right here though. Like that-ish. We're seeing a lot of the side of his head, so we're gonna see a bigger circle right here. Sort of, we're gonna see a big turn right there, more or less. Eye sockets are gonna kind of be like that. He's got a big ear. I'm sort of circle that up. And it hangs a little bit more below his nose, which is fine. Hang more right there, and then we can see his sort of his jaw. There's a curve like that right there. Yeah. Head isn't perfectly circle, it flattens out kinda. Like that right there. Okay. His nose is a bit larger. It sticks out a little, so we're gonna pop that right there. Very flat bridge. Gotta have my thingy present. His brow line curves up. He doesn't have much eyebrow going on, which can be both good and bad for us. We're gonna take it as a blessing that we don't have to draw an eyebrow. His eyes sort of turn at a 90-degree angle, so it's gonna sort of have a longer bit this way. He's sort of like squinting. He's got a big old lip. His lip sort of like overhangs. What I'm really trying to find right here are what are the markers of making someone look old that aren't all in like the rendering, and I think for me that's sort of like the bagginess and droopiness of like the features, you know, like especially like once you get right here, sort of how like the chin sort of like does this drooping as like gravity takes away your beautiful face as you grow older. Same thing with like your chin, or your neck, sort of like the skin around your neck starts to grow a little closer to the ground. He's got hair going everywhere. Especially back here. Seeing a bit of his cheekbone right there. I think I made his chin too big though. He's got these big old glasses, which I think are fun. I've noticed like while drawing, a lot of people wear collared shirts. I didn't realize it was such a ubiquitous thing until I started drawing more. It's like a lot of people wear shirts that have some form of collar on them. Yeah. I might have made his head too narrow, which I might try and fix here in the inking phase. I sort of bringing all of these bits back a bit more. Bring that back home right there. Doing his lips. I may have made the glasses a bit too thick. Try and not add too much detail to this eye over here because it's sort of being obscured a lot as is. He does kind of have eyebrows. Or being generous, he does sort of like have eyebrows. Got a little bit of facial hair going on there. I just made him look really sad. It looks really good, but why are you using the Loomis method? I heard some people say it's not ideal since it makes every face look too geometrically perfect. That's a very good point, Lizard Wizard. I did say this earlier, and like this isn't your fault in particular, because obviously that was earlier in the stream. But what the Loomis method is really good for is it is very good for establishing a fundamental set of proportions. It is the perfect average of what the human face looks like. And the idea isn't essentially like every person looks like this. It's to say that this is sort of the blueprint that you use, and you should get comfortable with it. And the idea is that as you move on from this average face and you start to look at real people, you start to see that these proportions can be squashed and stretched, moved around. The idea is that like it's giving you points of like articulation where you can sort of like if I was like, okay, like I want to draw a character where they have like a very small nose but like a very large mouth, I would sort of imagine this right here, and then I would say like, okay, like I know this right here, I'm just gonna sort of move this line up some in order to accomplish that. I do think that the Loomis method is very good as a beginner, and as you move on to intermit, like I'm acting as if I'm I'm know anything about being an intermediate artist. But as you get more comfortable with your Loomis method, you should get more comfortable with sort of like playing around with it, moving things around. It's just most skulls are going to have two eyes. Most skulls are going to have a brow line. Most skulls are going to have like a chin that are somewhat similar to this. The reason like I'm doing like the quote-unquote Loomis method for this right here is just kind of like show that you can have these things as sort of like a base, and then you can play around with it, and which is what we're doing here with penciling underneath. We lay down the base Loomis method, and then we say like, okay, I'm looking at my reference right here, maybe like the nose needs to be further up or further down, or like, you know, maybe the jawline isn't exactly like at this angle. Yeah, I do agree. Same face syndrome is very prevalent among artists, and it's something that like obviously like I've struggled, or I still struggle with currently. Like it's not something that I've broken free of. I don't draw from imagination all that often, faces at the very least, because I do have the tendency to sort of just like draw the same face over and over again, and that's sort of like I haven't done enough reference study, and I'm not comfortable enough with playing around with those things yet. But when I'm doing like a reference like this right here, I'm like, okay, I can play around with it, and I'm using it as an opportunity to sort of observe the things that I'm saying. Yeah, does that make sense? Is that rambly? Definitely a lot of artists that I've been looking to instructionally, Proco TV definitely is a big one, and they preach the exact same thing, is that like that geometric perfection is not realistic, but it's a good base. for the things that you're going to be doing later. It's kind of like the fundamentals, you know what I mean? It's like we learn perspective so we can break it, or you know, we learn structure so we can sort of get good at it, and then we can manipulate it. Yeah, got it. So you're saying you can tweak the proportions, like making one eye a bit bigger, moving things around, so it's really up to the person drawing it. Yeah, yeah. I mean, no, more or less, it is up to the person drawing it. It's saying like, okay, what am I wanting to accomplish here? And it's like, I think when you're like doing reference studies, maybe you should play around with like for like this individual right here, it's like, what if I gave them a more square jaw? How does that impact the overall like feeling of the like the quote-unquote character? This is a real person, but like, how does that affect our interpretation of like how this like person is? But yeah, the Loomis method is like I'm trying to think of like a good analogy that I could like use to say like what the Loomis method is for drawing. The Loomis method, Jamama. Of course. The Loomis method is like, oh my goodness, I'm drawing blanks here. But I haven't really thought of this. This is a good exercise in sort of like analogy making. The Loomis method is like, what is the Loomis? Chat, can we get a Joe Mama in the chat, please? Can we get several Joe Mamas in the chat? Actually, yeah. The Loomis method is like a plain birthday cake. It's just like white cake, and I'm like putting it up on the pedestal. Joe Mama! Like I'm popping that cake on the cake pedestal, and like I have the basis of a cake here, and I could do white frosting on it and it would still be a cake, and I could do strawberries on it and it would still be a cake. I could do little cream puffs and it would still be a cake. And that's fine and dandy, and it would still taste like a good cake, but if every cake looked like that, we'd start getting tired of cakes. So it's like, okay, what do? We start adding different toppings. We say like, okay, let's take that base of the cake and let's just make it a bit taller. How does that make my cake? How does that change my cake? Terrible analogy, I know. It's the best I can come up with right now. Did I go to art school? Just asking? No. Did not go to art school. I went to school for English literature. Yeah, I got a bachelor's in English literature. That's what I did with my time. Don't regret it though. I will say I don't regret it. No, all the art that you're seeing is all self-taught. You can check out on my channel. I do have some sketchbook tours of sort of previous sketchbooks that I've done over the past year, and you can sort of see how I have evolved in that time, because it started off really rough, I will say, and I've sort of been I've been keeping a discipline. I've been keeping a learning mindset, and the idea is like I can teach myself just as good as any professor can. It's just gonna take my like discipline in order to get that done. So yeah, everything that you're seeing here, there technically is education in the form of like books. Like I purchase a lot of books, like I don't know, let's see right here, like, oh, thank you, Lizard Wizard, I appreciate it. But yes, I'm self-taught, and like I do buy books, and I do like reference books a lot when it comes to sort of like aspirationally where I do want to be, sort of, and I do study a lot of artists. So it's like I am self-taught, I am self-guided. How about that? I am learning from people who are way better than me. But then I'm like I'm trying to sort of make that into my own thing, and it's been a blast. I love learning things. I'm constantly reading stuff, I'm constantly writing stuff, I'm constantly drawing stuff. I'm always doing things that are sort of going to progress my my knowledge and my abilities. Like I'm writing a comic. The goal is to get good enough that I can like write and draw my own comic. And yeah, that's kind of where I am. And it's some days it's stressful. Some days I feel like I'm not like doing a good enough job. But then other days I'm like, oh hell yeah. And that's like the fun thing about like an art journey, is that everyone's journey is different. And maybe even though I'm not getting like the best quote unquote education, I'm still like getting like something out of it. Whereas I feel like I'm getting something out of it. You dig? You dig? Oh, no, I appreciate the nice comments. That is very kind. And I'm very thankful that I'm very happy that you said that. That does make me feel really good. I have a long way to go, though. But I'll keep studying. I'll keep drawing. One thing I recommend is to keep a sketchbook on you, like all the time, to constantly drawing. Like I try and draw every day. I don't always draw every day. I got in a habit of it, then I had wrist pain, so I had to stop for a little bit. But I do recommend getting a sketchbook if you're wanting to get better at art. Always be drawing. ABD. Webcomic or actual comic? Actual comic. I don't have my my writing book up here, but all traditional. I'm going to be doing it all traditional. Well, technically, like I'm going to be publishing it through digital scans. So I'm going to be doing it all traditionally, because I am a traditional artist. Like I've tried digital art. It's not my thing. So like as much as I can keep traditional, like I'm going to have it stay that way. So do it traditionally, scan it in, clean up, publish it online. So I guess it would be a webcomic, technically. Yeah. I would love to like have it in print. I mean, that's gonna be like, I'm gonna look into it as I get further along with it. But yeah. Oh, thank you, Garrett. That's very inspirational. Thank you guys. You know what? This is why I love streaming, because everyone's just so nice. You're all the best. It feels good to have people like that are very like-minded and interests that can just like come together and sort of like talk about the things that we like. And that is very inspirational, and it's what keeps me going. I've been having a lot of self-doubt about sort of like creating things. This is normal. It's completely normal for everybody. I'm not saying doubt is not an inherent part of being a creative person, but you know, some days you can be like, you know, like, I am not the shit. But then you just have to remember that you are the shit, and you will always be the shit. Yeah. Okay. I'm happy with this. Well, actually, I'm not. Wait, we gotta do one more thing before. I always gotta ink wash. I always gotta do an ink wash. I love doing an ink wash. This is just a black ink. I think it's like Dr. Martens or something like that. No, it's Higgins. Sorry, it's a Higgins Black Magic inside of a brush, just like a refillable brush pen. But yeah. Actually, you're kind of the opposite. You got an art through digital first. You originally got an iPad for learning, but low-key art is interesting. Hey, I mean, I'm not here to knock it. I'm glad that people. Digital art is so much more efficient. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, if I could get better at digital art, or if it could click with me, I would love to do digital art. It's just it doesn't click with me. But I'm like, anything that works for you, I am like fully supportive of it. If you like decide like, I don't want to do digital art, I want to make sculptures out of like Pepsi bottles. Express yourself. You got to do what you got to do. I think all mediums are fantastic, and it's up to you, like how you wanna do that. I do envy digital artists a lot, just in that they're able to get stuff done with the layer tool. They're able to get stuff done with like Photoshop, you know. You do hear a lot of people saying grab a sketchbook and just draw. No, that the one limiting factor I found with digital art, because I used to have an iPad as well. I first did start doing a lot of art on my iPad. I sold it because I just wasn't, it wasn't doing it for me. But my thing with my iPad was I just couldn't bring it everywhere I went. I found it to be less accessible, oddly enough. So I gravitated more towards the physical sketchbook because, I don't know, I just felt like it was easier to sort of like carry around. And yeah, it was just better for me in a lot of ways. And it sort of like erases that barrier of like, I don't know. It's like, put something in front of me right now, let me just draw. That's sort of like how I go about it. It doesn't matter if I know what to draw or not. I don't let art block get the best of me. Burnout gets the best of me, but I don't let art block get the best of me. Some days I'm like, I don't know what to draw. If I don't know what to draw, I'm just like, I'm gonna draw cubes. Or I'm just gonna practice like lines. I'm gonna practice hatching. Even if I don't need to be the most creative person that I can be every single day. Some days it's just okay to go over the fundamentals again. You're drawing right now? Heck yeah! Oh yeah! I hope everyone is drawing right now. Oh, also, drawing every day does sound intimidating. Drawing for just 15 minutes a day is more than enough to make progress. I just want to say that. I try and do an hour a day. That's my goal at the very least. Some weeks I'm better than others, but I do think that sort of what matters more is not so much the time that you spend drawing, it's the consistency. As long as you can try and do it with consistency, the time will come naturally after that, because you will figure out very quickly if you have the passion for it. And you don't always have to have the passion for it every single day, you know? It's okay for some days to just be like, I'm not feeling it. Because there are days where I'm not feeling it, and that's okay. We're human. All right. Still beginner in digital art. Mad respect to me. Can't even imagine drawing without layers, undoing all that stuff. It's a boon and a curse. On one hand, thank you, again, but like on one hand, it's like, not having the undo button makes it very stressful, because you could pop down a line and it could ruin your entire thing. But also, it kind of, if you think about it, in a way it forces you to pay more attention, which is what I sort of like. I like that sort of like active way of like creating art. Just the degree of intentionality, which is why I specifically gravitate towards pen and ink. You know, it's like I am like a pen and ink artist. I mean, you can sort of like, you can see all the, that's paint, that's very bad. That's very bad example, but like I definitely like gravitate towards doing like ink because of its permanence. I have a lot of terrible drawings, more bad drawings than good drawings, but whenever I do finally nail that like drawing that I'm satisfied with, it's a feeling like no other. Oh yeah. Okay, I think I'm done here. I think the stream has been going on for 2 hours and 15 minutes. I think it's been a very productive stream. We're gonna pop that off. But yeah, Do I stream often? Yes, I do. I stream every Saturday night around 5 o'clock is what I try and do. Now, I don't want to be a liar because I will not be streaming next week because I'm going to be out of town. But every Saturday night around this time, I do be streaming. You can check out my old live streams too. I save all the VODs on my channel if you want to flip through those and sort of just see what the streams are about. Also something that you can do. But yeah, please, if you be interested in this sort of thing, please pop in, say hello, ask some questions, share how your life has been. I want to hear it. I do want to hear it. Your tutor said for you to do this. Oh, to do some sketchbooking? Agreed. Sketchbooking is good. Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm gonna finish up for now. Okay, if you do stick around for live streams in the future, you will or if you look at live streams I've done in the past, you will know that I suck at ending these things. When it comes to doing my closing remarks, I'm absolutely awful at doing closing remarks. But yeah, thank you very much for everyone who tuned in. Keep drawing. Keep doing whatever you're doing. You're doing an amazing job. Keep practicing. Keep pursuing your dreams. Keep learning. Can't stress that enough. Keep learning. Never give up that appetite for knowledge. Because as humans, we are so incredibly capable of just like soaking up knowledge, and it would be remiss for us to sort of like squander that gift. So yeah, thank you everybody. I hope you have a good night. We'll catch you not next week. We'll catch you in 2 weeks. Check out other videos on the channel if you want. Oh, thank you, Lizard Wizard. Oh, I appreciate it. No stress, but if you jump into another stream, I would love to talk with you. That would be great. But thank you for tuning in. Okay. Have a good night, everybody. We're gonna pop off the music, and au revoir.